Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Renegade Immortal based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin didn't have any time to react when his origin soul was whipped out of his body. As his soul flew backwards, he was shocked and then pain started coming from all over his origin soul. This pain was like his heart was being pierced. This pain meant that his origin soul was about to be damaged. He didn't hesitate at all to use spiritual energy to stop himself. With one teleport, he went back into his body. Wang Lin opened eyes and quickly backed up. There was shock in his eyes. The attack from the giant just now was simply too strange. What kind of whip is that? Wang Lin's eyes sparkled as he stared at the ice giant. Luckily, Wang Lin's sword energy had landed on the giant and the divine retribution lightning was still inside the ice giant. Due to these two factors, the ice giant wasn't able to attack Wang Lin while his origin soul was knocked out of his body. The situation would have turned very ugly for Wang Lin otherwise. Just as the sword energy landed on the ice giant's waist, the divine retribution lightning destroyed the last of the restriction gas and suddenly disappeared. The red clouds left as quickly as they arrived and the sky returned to normal as if the red clouds had never appeared. The ice giant shook its body. Pieces of ice fell off it and landed on the ground. The giant was now only half of its original size at 50 feet. The wound on its waist quickly closed and soon disappeared. However, the image of the whip was still at its chest, releasing a demonic light. Without a word, Wang Lin turned around and escaped. That whip was simply too dangerous. If his origin soul were to get knocked away again and his body got destroyed, then even if he won, he will still have lost. Red Butterfly appeared once more on the head of the ice giant and shouted, "Sengnyo, I want to see what you can still do." The ice giant that was now only half of its original size became more nimble than before. It got up from the ground, causing the earth to shake, and chased after Wang Lin. Wang Lin continued to run. Luckily, the battleground was very large, and he hadn't reached the boundary yet. He quickly took out a pill and consumed it to adjust his body as he flew. As for the ice giant behind him, he completely ignored it. Red Butterfly's expression was as cold as ice. She hated the person before her down to her bones. If it wasn't for the ice giant, she would have been killed the red lightning. This Seng Nyo had a treasure to call down divine retribution lightning. However, I don't believe he has two of them, or else he could have just used both right away. Even with the soul lasher, the ice giant won't be able to withstand two divine retribution lightning strikes. Red Butterfly's eyes were gloomy. She gave a command and the whip suddenly appeared in the ice giant's hand. Red Butterfly shouted, "Seng Nyo, accept your death." The giant swung the whip in his hand. It moved even faster than lightning toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression changed. Although the whip speed was quick, he had been on guard this whole time. As the whip was coming toward him, he disappeared with a teleport. He reappeared 1,000 feet away and coughed out blood. When he was teleporting away, the whip touched him. Although it didn't knock his origin soul out, it injured him. What an amazing whip treasure. Wang Lin took a deep breath and continued to escape. He took out a large amount of pills and devoured them to recover as much spiritual energy as possible. Red Butterfly's eyes were cold as she controlled the ice giant to chase Wang Lin in a mad pursuit. As Red Butterfly chased Wang Lin, she insulted him. "Seng Nyo, you are now running away like a homeless dog. Where is your dominating aura from back then?" Wang Lin laughed and said, "Red Butterfly, you haven't resolved the curse from that arm yet. You're only suppressing it with your spiritual energy. This is true reason you used your most powerful treasure right at the start." Red Butterfly's expression became gloomy and she snorted. Every single time they met, she had never been able to beat Wang Lin in words, so she no longer spoke. She controlled the giant and whipped the air before them multiple times. After a while, Wang Lin recovered a bit of spiritual energy. His eyes lit up as he took out an item. It was Red Butterfly's arm. He chanted while his left hand formed seals and pointed at the arm. The arm glowed a demonic light, as various symbols appeared on it. Wang Lin's left hand slapped the arm and he shouted, "Explode." A black line immediately appeared on Red Butterfly's forehead. Her body trembled and her face became pale. She shouted, "Seng Nyo, if I don't kill you, then I'm not called Red Butterfly." Wang Lin sneered and shouted, "Suppress it. I want to see how long you can suppress it. Explode. Explode. Explode." The black line on Red Butterfly's forehead suddenly began to spread, and soon covered Red Butterfly's beautiful face. Red Butterfly coughed out black blood. She was indeed worried about the curse on her arm, which was why she wanted to end this battle as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. The battle went outside of her control. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he once more shouted, "Explode." The arm in his hand immediately exploded. There was no longer any blood left inside, so it exploded into a cloud of black dust which spread out in all directions. The explosion of the arm activated all of the curses inside Red Butterfly's body. She coughed out another mouthful of black blood and a dark aura covered her face. Wang Lin's body immediately stopped. He no longer ran. He used this moment to throw out the beast trap, and with a bang, the war chariot arrived. The beast spirit immediately came out with a roar. Its bloodshot eyes stared at Wang Lin and the giant. The current Wang Lin couldn't worry about exposing too much. The most important matter right now was winning. After the chariot appeared, it would take time to activate. Wang Lin held the celestial sword in his hand and swung down. The sword energy created a sonic boom, as it flew out and smashed into the ice giant. Bang! The ice giant stumbled back several steps as a wound appeared on its body. Red Butterfly's eyes were closed. She was concentrating all her attention to suppress the curse. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He went up and swung down again. Bang! After the bang, the ice giant backed up even more. Red Butterfly struggled to open her eyes and stared viciously at Wang Lin before spitting out a word. The ice giant's eyes released a demonic light. Red Butterfly had given up on controlling the ice giant and was using all her power to suppress the curse. The giant's body began to move. It swung its fist and the image of the whip immediately appeared. Wang Lin didn't hesitate at all and used celestial sword to block. With a bang, Wang Lin was pushed back more than 100 feet. Although the celestial sword wasn't damaged, Wang Lin coughed out blood from the force of the blow. Just at this moment, the ice giant landed before Wang Lin with one leap. It swung its fist down and inside the fist was the image of the whip. Wang Lin's expression was serious as he quickly threw the celestial sword toward the fist. The moment the fist hit Wang Lin, the sword flashed by the right arm and cut the entire arm off. The celestial sword itself was very different from the sword energy. The celestial sword landed 1,000 feet away and stabbed deep into the ground. Blood sprayed out from all over Wang Lin's body, and many of his bones were broken. However, he laughed and said, "Red Butterfly, I took one of your arms and now I took one of this useless ice giant's arms. It is now more fitting for you." He waved his hand and the ice giant's right arm appeared in his hand. A flash of blue light appeared and the ice immediately fell from the arm until it shrank to half its size. Right now the many spikes on the war chariot released a black aura that was being absorbed by the spirit beast. The spirit beast grew larger, and its eyes revealed a vicious gaze. The ice giant let out a roar and rushed toward its broken arm. Wang Lin's eyes became cold and he spat out a ray of white light that surrounded the arm. He was now using all of his energy to refine it. More cracks appeared on the arm and it shrank again. The giant's speed was very quick. It arrived with one jump and then it swung its left arm. Bang! Wang Lin backed up and then disappeared. Cracks immediately appeared on the ground where Wang Lin was just standing. When Wang Lin reappeared, he was next to the celestial sword and grabbed it. Wang Lin shouted again. Break! The arm coated in white light cracked again, and a large amount of ice fell off. Right now, this arm was the same size as a normal person's arm. The giant suddenly turned around and swung out another punch that was as fast as lightning. Wang Lin raised the celestial sword and swung down. Just at this moment, the whip suddenly appeared on the ice giant's chest. Wang Lin's expression changed, and he moved the celestial sword to block before him. However, the whip changed directions. It went around Wang Lin and hit his body. Bang! Wang Lin coughed out blood and his body was knocked back 100 feet. His origin soul was once again whipped out of his body and flew out 1,000 feet. The ice giant's eyes released a ghostly light. It ignored Wang Lin's original soul, and instead walked toward Wang Lin's body. War Chariot, activate. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. During the time he managed to delay the ice giant, the god-slaying chariot managed to activate. The beast spirit let out a roar and charged out. All of the chains on the beast spirit were gone. However, instead of charging at the ice giant, it charged toward Wang Lin. Disobedient beast. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. His hand formed a seal and a chain flew out from the chariot. The chain locked the beast spirit in place. The beast struggled vigorously and didn't change its direction. It clearly wanted to use whatever it took to devour Wang Lin. At this moment, the giant arrived next to Wang Lin's body and smiled as it smashed its fist down. Wang Lin's origin soul shouted, "Shuligua." The celestial sword let out a miserable scream as black gas appeared on the sword and it blocked the fist. Bang! The giant's fist hit the celestial sword and was pushed back by the shockwave. However, Shuligua let out a weak cry before the celestial sword fell to the ground. No more sounds came from it. The giant's eyes lit up as it ran up again. Just at this moment, even more chains flew out of the war chariot and dragged the beast spirit back. The beast spirit was filled with rage as it turned toward the ice giant and charged toward it. The giant immediately raised its head. It stopped its attack on Wang Lin's body and punched the incoming beast spirit. Bang! 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 The giant continued to attack and knocked the beast spirit away. This angered the beast spirit. Its mouth expanded greatly and devoured the ice giant. However, the moment it tried to devour the ice giant, the whip came out and hit the beast spirit. The beast spirit felt pain and immediately shrank a bit. Pa! Pa! The continuous whipping caused the beast spirit to be furious, but it ignored the whip to continue to devour. The beast spirit went through the ice giant's body. The giant's body shook and a large amount of cracks appeared on it. More ice fell off and the ice giant shrank once more. It was now only 20 feet tall, and the ice around its right shoulder began to melt. The beast spirit was about to turn around for another attack when Red Butterfly opened her eyes. The curse was suppressed back to the single black line on her forehead. Red Butterfly's rushed voice contained a hint of darkness as she said, "Soul Lasher. Reveal your true form." This time, a pure white whip appeared in the ice giant's hand. This whip isn't illusionary like before but solid. It whipped the beast spirit like crazy. The pain caused the beast spirit to become even more enraged. It was about to charge out again, when it suddenly let out a painful cry and looked back at the war chariot. After all, he was only a spirit and was limited by the chariot. Also, Wang Lin was not using it properly for it to display its full power, so now it was feeling the call of the chariot. The beast spirit let out a reluctant roar into the sky as it changed into gas and returned to the war chariot. Wang Lin's origin soul had returned to his body during the fight between the beast spirit and the ice giant. He had also consumed pills to recover, and sent spiritual energy into the celestial sword to awaken Shuligua. With the celestial sword in his hand, he swung down. Wang Lin's sword energy quickly arrived. The ice giant let out a roar and punched the sword energy. It turned around, kicked the ground, causing the ground to crack, and quickly escaped. Chase! Wang Lin's eyes became cold as he raised his sword and chased after her. Red Butterfly's face was gloomy. The battle today was much harder than their battle back in the celestial realm. She never would have even dreamt that this Seng-Nyo would have gained this much power in a mere decade. Thinking back to the celestial realm, when she used her full power to kill this person, Seng Nyo could only run, and had no power to resist. Even later on, it was only because he had a treasure that could collapse a celestial fragment that she was suppressed. She never saw Wang Lin as anything. In her heart, this Seng Nyo was not someone at the same level as her. He was weak, an insect, a stepping stone that would obey the strong. She had killed many soul formation cultivators, like Wang Lin, during her battle against the Four-Sect Alliance. Even in Suzaku, she kept this mentality. This was her pride. However, this pride crumbled when Wang Lin took her arm. She couldn't stand the fact that a weak and insignificant cultivator dared to sneak attack her. Her hatred for Wang Lin had reached its limit. She resolved herself to kill Wang Lin in order to make her Dao heart complete again. She even took out Shui Yu's national treasure, the ice god, to kill this person. Even her senior apprentice brother secretly borrowed the heavenly jade sect's main treasure, the soul lasher, and let her borrow it to get on her good side. She originally didn't want to use the soul lasher. She thought that with the ice god and her life treasure, killing Seng Nyo would be as easy as taking candy from a baby. However, she had heard a lot of rumors about the soul lasher, and was moved by them, so she didn't reject the offer. She hid it inside the ice god to use it as a secret weapon to win. But right now, after so many rounds, their battle had reached its boiling point. This Seng Nyo's treasures were endless, far more than she could have imagined. Especially that beast spirit, it was too fierce. If Seng Nyo had the power to control it and the beast spirit continued to attack, she was sure that without the soul lasher, she would have lost. Right now she could only escape. The ice god was extremely weak. From all the damage it took, it was now only 20 feet tall. If it shrank any more, it would collapse completely. She had only experienced this kind of escape twice in her entire life. The first time was when she was forced into a corner by Wang Lin, and the second time was right now. To be forced to escape like this twice, by the same person, was like a slap in the face for her. This made her feel very ashamed and her hatred deepened. Wang Lin chased closely after her with a gloomy expression on his face. He looked at the figure constantly teleporting before him and said, "Red butterfly, where is your pride? Does the heavenly daughter of Suzaku have to run from me, a mere mid-stage soul formation cultivator? Seng Nyo. If I don't kill you, I'm not called Red Butterfly." Avatars. Even though Wang Lin was taunting her, her pride made it so that she had to fight him. A change suddenly occurred. She let out a scream and the rose appeared before the ice giant. There were no flower petals, only 2 stamens. Red Butterfly didn't hesitate, as her origin soul flew out and split in half. One half went into the stamens. The 2 stamens fused together to form a very beautiful figure. The figure quickly took form and revealed its appearance. An avatar that looked exactly like Red Butterfly appeared, only this avatar had all of her limbs. Red Butterfly's avatar opened her eyes and looked very calm. The original Red Butterfly was very cold and ruthless, but this avatar showed no emotion and was extremely calm. Seng Nyo, I don't mind giving up my chance to reach the soul transformation stage anytime soon just to kill you. This avatar was something she had been cultivating to make it easier for her to reach the soul transformation stage. Unless it was absolutely needed, she wouldn't bring the avatar out. But now, in order to kill Wang Lin, she didn't care about the cost. This avatar had no spiritual energy inside even though it contained some of her origin soul. This avatar was filled with her domain. She had been pouring her domain into the avatar for a while. Red Butterfly and her avatar both said, at the same time, "Ruthless domain." The avatar quickly flew forward and emitted a rainbow-colored light. Red Butterfly's avatar said, in a very alluring voice, to lure out all the emotions of the mortal world and then using the blade of intelligence to cut it all away. This is the ruthless domain. Emotions, come forth. The color of the sky suddenly changed and a mysterious power covered the heavens and earth. 7 rainbow-colored orbs suddenly appeared next to Red Butterfly and then flew toward Wang Lin. Familial love. 2 balls of light shattered to form a man and woman. The man had trimmed white hair and the woman had a loving gaze. Love. Li Muwen's figure appeared in the orb. She stared at Wang Lin with eyes filled with sadness. Hatred. Ting Huiyuan teared open the orb of light and walked out. There were countless souls in his hand. The souls of the Wang family cried out in anguish. Appreciation. Seng Danu's 3 generations walked out and stared at Wang Lin in confusion. He opened his mouth to talk, but couldn't say a word. Wang Lin's body stopped moving and he sat cross-legged. His origin soul flew out and said, "Under the reincarnation cycle, life and death domain." The sky was suddenly torn open by a pair of giant hands and a rift appeared. A giant, black and white painting came out of the rift. There were many large mountains and flowing rivers inside the scroll. Although they looked still, they were in fact moving. Under the life and death scroll, Wang Lin's origin soul was glowing. He revealed a complex expression as he looked at the people before him. Red Butterfly's avatar said, "Sword of Intelligence." A rainbow-colored sword appeared before Red Butterfly's avatar. Cut. Wang Lin's parents were killed by the sword. They were soon followed by Li Muwen. Dianyo's family was killed by Ting Huiyuan, and then he disappeared after a swing of the sword. Ruthless. Red Butterfly and her avatar looked very worn out. She then pointed at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's origin soul shook and his eyes became dim. His right hand raised up and pointed at the life and death scroll in the sky. Wang Lin softly said, "Even a ruthless person can't escape the reincarnation cycle. How could the emotions in the world be so easily cut or discarded? Although the sword of intelligence is powerful, it can't cut through the cycle of reincarnation." Black and white gas appeared and fused together to make the gray gas of the reincarnation cycle. The gray gas suddenly came out of the scroll in the shape of a giant thumb and pressed down before Red Butterfly's avatar. Red Butterfly's avatar's body trembled. She shook her head, bitterly smiled, and said, "If I could have reached the soul transformation stage, even the reincarnation cycle would be suppressed by ruthlessness. If the heavens reincarnation cycle wasn't ruthless, then it wouldn't be the heavens reincarnation cycle anymore." Unfortunate. The avatar let out a sigh as it disappeared. Red Butterfly coughed out a mouthful blood. Her origin soul was damaged, but the hatred in her eyes were replaced by a hint of clarity. Wang Lin's origin soul returned to his body and his face became very pale. Although the battle between domains looked calm, it was the most dangerous part of this fight. The moment Red Butterfly's sword of intelligence landed, his origin soul was damaged. If it wasn't for the fact that his life and death domain had evolved when he reached the mid-stage of soul formation, his origin soul would have been destroyed. Even right now, his life and death domain was only a bit more powerful than Red Butterfly's domain. This was because, as Red Butterfly said, the heavenly reincarnation cycle was originally ruthless. However, there was a very fine line between ruthless and emotionless. Because of this difference, Wang Lin barely won. In truth, domain battles between cultivators were them proving their own Dao paths to each other. I understand. Red Butterfly's eyes released a mysterious light as she looked toward Wang Lin. All of her hatred disappeared. She returned to the completely cold and emotionless gaze she had when she first met Wang Lin. Wang Lin's heart sank. Red Butterfly was indeed a genius to be able to gain something from this domain battle. This woman must be killed or else Wang Lin won't have a day of peace in the future. Wang Lin moved. He slapped his bag of holding and took out the restriction flag. Restriction gas flew out and formed into a black lance. As more restriction gas entered the lance, there were sounds of it expanding. The lance grew larger and gained a stronger aura. All of the restriction gas had gathered in the lance. This was the peak power of the restriction flag after reaching its first completion stage. Wang Lin quickly charged forward with the lance in one hand. With his other hand, he swung down the celestial sword. Boom! The ice giant let out a roar and jumped into the air to punch Wang Lin. However, the lance was longer, so it lunged toward Red Butterfly at the ice giant's forehead. The ice giant's hand grabbed the lance. However, the sword energy was right behind the lance, so it landed without any resistance. Bang! The giant let out a painful cry, and its left hand smashed down as restriction gas entered its body. However, the lance didn't hit Red Butterfly, but stabbed the giant's neck. Boom! The giant's eyes dimmed and it slowly fell to the ground. Red Butterfly took a deep breath and pointed at her brow. Then she came out of the ice giant and floated in the air. Her current body was very weak, her life treasure was used up, her domain avatar was destroyed, her origin soul was heavily injured, and the ice giant was destroyed. Right now she was as weak as she was back in the celestial realm. But she seemed to have a feeling of enlightenment and no longer had the urge to fight. She felt that once she comprehended this feeling, then killing this Sengmyo would be as simple as waving her hand. Countless cracks appeared on the giant as it fell and finally collapsed. All of the ice melted, revealing a pure white whip. Red Butterfly waved her hand and the soul lasher flew toward her. How could Wang Lin let her succeed? This was something he had to obtain. The lance quickly turned into a black whip and wrapped around the soul lasher. Red Butterfly's expression changed and she shouted, "You dare? Why wouldn't I dare?" Wang Lin laughed as he pulled the soul lasher toward him. He swung the celestial sword at Red Butterfly to prevent her from fighting him for it. Red Butterfly's face was gloomy. After pondering for a bit, she let go to dodge the sword energy and sneered at Wang Lin. "Sengmyo, this soul lasher has a seal placed on it by the Heavenly Jade Sect. Even if you steal it, you won't be able to use it." As she spoke, the black line on Red Butterfly's forehead slowly faded away until it disappeared without a trace. Her domain avatar was destroyed during the domain battle, so her method to reach the soul transformation with relative ease was gone. But the enlightenment she gained made her confident that she would be able to break into the soul transformation stage on her own in a few decades. She took a deep breath, and 4 rays of light suddenly appeared around her. When the lights disappeared, 4 figures appeared. Metal spirit, wood spirit, water spirit, fire spirit. Aside from the earth spirit, the other elemental spirits all appeared. This was Red Butterfly's ultimate treasure. This was her root and where her talent came from. Wang Lin scanned the soul lasher with his divine sense. What he saw made his heart sink. There was a powerful seal on the soul lasher, so his divine sense couldn't get through it at all. Wang Lin snorted. He put the soul lasher into his bag of holding and then stared at the 4 elemental spirits. In today's battle, Wang Lin had been heavily injured. Aside from the various injuries on his body, his origin soul had also been damaged. This could be said to be a very bitter fight. Wang Lin's eyes became cold and he thought, 4 spirits. My heaven-defying bead will use these to reach completion today. As Red Butterfly stared at Wang Lin, her hand formed a seal and she said, 4 spirits, killing formation. After that, she turned to leave. She wasn't in the mood to fight anymore, and was ready to leave this place. Wang Lin was about to chase, when the 4 spirits suddenly moved and charged toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He shook the restriction flag in his hand and the lance reformed. He thrusted the lance toward the spirit in the front. The spirit increased its speed and collided with the lance. Wang Lin swung the celestial sword with his right hand, but the wood spirit went to block it as the water and metal spirits closed in on him. Wang Lin snorted. Back then, before he had reached the soul formation stage, he had to put in a lot of effort to win against one spirit. However, he was now at the mid of stage soul formation, and had already planned on how to steal these elemental spirits from Red Butterfly. At this moment, his eyes were calm. He slapped his bag of holding and 9 carvings appeared. These 9 wood carvings all contained the time domain. Aside from 2 of them, the remaining 7 were all made from the wood of the reincarnation tree. This material made it much easier to activate the time domain and was much more powerful. Wang Lin softly said, "Time." An invisible shockwave suddenly spread out, and the 4 elemental spirits paused for a moment. Wang Lin's speed was very quick. He immediately grabbed hold of the metal spirit, and with one step suppressed the wood spirit. After that, he ignored the remaining 2 spirits and chased after Red Butterfly. Red Butterfly was more than 1,000 feet away when her face turned pale. She didn't expect that Seng Myo would still have a powerful treasure left after this battle. She felt very bitter in her heart. No matter what, she had to kill this person today. Only by using all of her treasures and using the fact that she had a bit more spiritual energy than him could she kill him in one fell swoop. Her eyes darkened and she said, "Metal spirit, explode." The metal spirit being held by Wang Lin suddenly shook and began to release a destructive aura. Wang Lin let go of the metal spirit and teleported away. The wood spirit was still in Wang Lin's hands. Bang! The spirit exploded. Although Wang Lin teleported away, he was still hit by it. He coughed out a large mouthful of blood and immediately weakened. His cultivation became unstable after all of these injuries, so it dropped to the early stage of soul formation. After landing, Wang Lin immediately took out pills from his bag and swallowed them. His eyes flashed as he teleported to Red Butterfly. He formed a seal with his hand and said, "Red Butterfly, accept your death." Red Butterfly's eyes lit up and she said, "3 spirits, explode." The remaining 3 spirits trembled and 3 powerful, destructive auras began to spread. Wang Lin's expression changed greatly. Red Butterfly's eyes were cold. There was no color in her eyes as she said, "If you kill me, we both die together." Wang Lin's eyes became even colder as he pressed down the seal in his hand without any hesitation. For the first time, panic entered Red Butterfly's face. But just at this moment, a gentle power descended from the sky and surrounded the 3 spirits. The destructive force disappeared and the spirits were saved. A person silently appeared before Red Butterfly. This person was Suzaku's Gong Suinpa. He casually waved his right hand and Wang Lin was knocked back 100 feet. Wang Lin glared at Gong Suinpa and silently pondered. This power was not something he could fight against, and let's not forget that he was heavily injured. "Seng Myo, you won. Go to Mount Suzaku to receive your order and someone will arrange things for you. After that, you will be a disciple Suzaku invited from the outside. As one of these disciples, Suzaku can grant you one wish. Once you have decided on what you want, you can come to Mount Suzaku to state your wish." Gong Suinpa grabbed the 3 spirits and put them back inside Red Butterfly. However, when the wood spirit was flying over, Wang Lin clenched his teeth, swung the celestial sword, and cut it in half. He quickly molded half of the wood spirit into a crystal and put it inside his bag of holding. After he did this, he raised his head and looked at Gong Suinpa. "HMPH, you sure are bold. Looking at the fact that you won, I won't pursue this matter, but your wish is cancelled." Gong Suinpa coldly looked at Wang Lin. Then he pointed at the sky and the spirit that had exploded reformed. The old man put it back inside Red Butterfly as well. Color returned to Red Butterfly's face and she respectfully said, "Thank you, Elder." Gong Suinpa's gaze toward Red Butterfly wasn't kind. He reached out toward Wang Lin with his right hand and said, "Hand over the soul lasher." Wang Lin stared at Gong Suinpa and pondered a bit. Seeing that Gong Suinpa was getting impatient, he secretly let out a sigh. In the cultivation world, strength was all that mattered. He took out the soul lasher and bitterly handed it over. After Gong Suinpa grabbed the soul lasher, his right hand pointed at the air and the door of light appeared. "Let's go." Gong Suinpa walked through the door. Red Butterfly quickly followed. She turned around to coldly stare at Wang Lin and whispered, "You will die for sure next time." The current Red Butterfly didn't know that she only had 3 days left to live. A secret plot began unfolding after an order was given out by someone at Mount Suzaku. Part 1 end here.